And welcome back to our next session, WorkZone Clearinghouse Update and LMS Overview. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome our moderator up onto the stage. Please welcome Martha Kapitanov from FHWA. Martha, the show is yours.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I will introduce our and first we'll hear from Brett Sand. He's the Senior Vice President for Safety and Education at the RTBA, American Road Association. He construction, safety, and health area for over 30 years in senior leadership positions at the Building and Construction Trades Department, AFC-CIO, the International Association of Firefighters, and RTBA. He managed an OSHA training center and currently serves as the chairman of the Board of Safety Equipment Institute, part of ASTM International. He earned a law degree from Georgetown University Law Center and holds 2 Bachelor's of the Arts degrees from Utah State University in Political Science.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to be here with my colleagues to give you a quick update on what is going on with the WorkZone Clearinghouse, because we have a lot of exciting things going on. So let's get started. First of all, some of you may have been around for as long as I have, and some may be newer. So to begin with, let me just explain what the Clearinghouse is. This is a public-private partnership, not in the traditional sense that we think of them in the industry, but one that has been going since 1997 between ARPA, the Federal Highway Administration, and the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, TTI. So we have been working together for many years and really all focused on gathering information and sharing it with the industry. Now, many of us know the Clearinghouse because we are a world leader in safety resources and information. And often when we think of the Clearinghouse, we think about the website. And Jerry's going to talk about that, and Beth is going to too talk a little bit about resources there. But what we want people to realize, and sitting here, that we are much more than just the website. We have a lot more services, and this conference is one of them. And so in addition to the website, we offer these conferences, live and now virtual. And because of the virtual nature of our conference this year, we didn't want it to go on and on and on, but there was so much information to present. So we kind of are splitting it up. So we're doing these 3 half-day sessions this week. And then next October, we'll be doing a part 2 where we can, again, present it. That'll also be virtual just based on how we've started it. But we'll be able to then offer a few more presentations, and so it's not such a long session. In addition to the conferences, the Clearinghouse supports National WorkZone Awareness Week, and you've heard that mentioned several times. That is not quite as old as the Clearinghouse, but getting close. It's celebrated its 20th year last year, and so we provide the posters for that, and they are still available. You can order them through the Clearinghouse, workzonesafety.org, and you can still get your posters for this year. If you look on the slide here, the one on the far right is the slide for this year. Drive safe, work safe, save lives. Next slide, please. As Scott Ernst mentioned, that we started an effort through NIOSH, but now the Clearinghouse is fully a partner with that, and that's the National Stand Down to Prevent Struck by Incidents. This is our 2nd year with that, and we have to kind of not have so many events all over the place all the time, as the industry or the construction industry does have a lot of safety events. We tied our national stand down to WorkZone Awareness Week. So we start each Monday of WorkZone Awareness Week with the opportunity for companies and DOTs and others to pause and talk about struck by incidents. Scott Ernst mentioned the Focus 4 in construction, and typically in construction, falls are the #1 cause of fatalities, struck by the #1 cause of injuries. But in heavy and civil, in roadway construction work, struck-bys are our #1 cause of both fatalities and injuries. So for us, this stand down is important, where we share information, we talk about safety, and again, we have a lot of resources. So if you're interested, you can get our resources. You can join us for our webinar on Monday the 26th, or you can simply gather your own information and stuff that we have provided and do your own stand down. And that's really where it becomes more real, when you folks talk to your own employees about safety. Coming up on April 26th. Next slide, please. I think you're aware of a lot of the posters that we provide, training materials. Again, all these things can be ordered through the clearinghouse, and we're happy to send them out. A couple of these have been around for years, and we're in the middle of updating them, but information is great. So posters, guides, that type of stuff is also provided by the clearinghouse by old-fashioned mail. And we can do it, with PDFs as well if you want to print your own materials. Next slide, please. We've developed a lot of training and videos. And again, a lot of the training that is being performed through the WorkZone training grants. And so there's a number of universities that do that. ARTBA and ATSA do probably the bulk of the training that goes on. And so once the training is completed, or the materials that are developed, you want to find those materials. It was a great class. You want to do some follow-up. Maybe you want to take those materials and train your own people. All that information, again, is found on the clearinghouse. And again, we've developed a lot of videos and other types of information. Again, Scott mentioned the NIOSH fatality reports. They call them FACE reports that they do with a number of the states. We captured a lot of that information and turned those into some animated videos that are also posted on the clearinghouse. Great way to start a discussion. This accident really happened, and what can we do to prevent it? And we're launching a series of new videos now. We have one completed on fall rescue, another one coming up very soon on trenching and excavation safety, and one on electrical safety. Those will be probably released within the next couple of weeks. If we have some time, we'll preview them here. But again, all that information is there. And again, because it's through the clearinghouse, because it's supported by the Federal Highway Administration, these are all provided at no cost. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I think Jerry will go into, will share a little bit more information about it. And we've heard several discussions about it. David Johnson mentioned it in his presentation in the previous session, is getting the right data and compiling the right data. And so I want to just talk a little bit about this, because it's very important. And you may ask, why does data seem so important? We know we have an issue and we're going to work on the issue, et cetera, et cetera. And we can jump to the next slide. But the reason it's so important, and why it's important to get it right, is because federal and state policymakers are looking at data, and based on that information, they are allocating resources or providing emphasis on what we can do to drive those numbers down, the fatalities and accidents that happen on our roadways. And so if we don't have good information, if we don't know where those workers and how workers are being killed, we may not have the resources that we need to address it. Therefore, we could be spending a lot of time and effort trying to fix a problem that is not focused in the right area. And we realize that. And so we are trying to provide that information. We've come up with on the clearinghouse kind of a dashboard that provides a lot of information about fatalities and injuries, crashes in work zones. But again, we recognize that the information we get is only as good as the data that comes in, and then finding the right data is very challenging. But we're working on that. And so I wanted to share with you some of the things we have underway where we're trying to get the data, the best data we can. Now, we know that the source of all that data is the number one challenge, or I would say the bigger, not number one challenge, but the source of it, where it first comes in, and how that is reported to the federal agencies that collect it becomes an issue, because if we don't have the right information, we can't compile it properly. And so I know there's some data initiatives that are going on with Federal Highway. We're trying to get better work zone data, but we also realize, just anecdotally, we can find a news report and then go try to track the data. And sometimes it's not reported as a work zone incident because the officer or whoever is making the report didn't check that box or didn't report it as such. So we realize that the source of information is not great. But then we also recognize that the data itself and the way the agencies compile it is challenging, and we need to do a better job of parsing that data. And so, as I've mentioned several times, and again, we know that the data that comes into the Department of Transportation, and that's primarily NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, that data comes in through FARS, the Fatality Analysis Reporting System. And that system is really set up to track kind of motor vehicle accidents, not geared to track worker accidents. So it's pretty good if we're talking about the number of crashes in work zones and the number of incidents in work zones. It's not very helpful when it comes to the number of workers that are killed in work zones, simply for one reason alone, and that's because any person that's outside a vehicle is classified as a pedestrian. And so workers are classified as pedestrians. And so we try to parse that data further to figure out how much of those work zone pedestrian incidents are actually workers. And just by cross-tabulating data, we're estimating it's as much as 30% or more. However, we have to really be able to prove that, and that's part of the challenge, again, that we're working on. Why is that important? Well, because as we've seen numbers of fatalities in recent years, I haven't compared 2019, but we've seen some overall numbers coming down. We've seen pedestrian numbers going up. And so the Federal Highway, or not necessarily Federal Highway, NHTSA and other DOT agencies are looking at why are we hitting so many pedestrians? And if we don't realize that a third of the work zone pedestrians are workers, we may not be allocating resources necessary to fix that problem. So that's one of the challenges right now we have with the FARS data. Now we can jump over to another agency, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's under the Department of Labor, and they do track worker fatalities. But again, it becomes a little bit more challenging because of how they group their workers together when we're searching their databases. So typically what the clearinghouse has done in the past is we've done a search, and they have a category for heavy and civil highway workers that we can search, and it brings up a number of fatalities in that industry. However, what we've known for some time is that grouping that's automatically put together by the Bureau of Labor Statistics does not include some other categories of workers who are roadway workers, people who are installing signage, people who are doing trenching and excavation, people that maybe doing landscaping or lawn mowing, things like that, maintenance work along the grounds of the roads. Those are not captured in that category of data. So we can do a cross search and try to capture that. The problem is those surveyors, ground workers, others that are in categories are also in categories with other types of workers that we can't separate apart. So we can run numbers, for example, and doing some cross-tabulation data searches where we'll find in some searching as many as over 200 workers who are killed on the side of the road, and they're working. So we could make a jump to think, well, that's a whole lot more than we've been reporting in the past. That's 207. But what we don't really know is, are there other workers doing jobs that are not necessarily roadway related that are being killed in those incidents? And that's where we can't get to the details in the BLS data that we want to. But we're not giving up. We have partnerships. We're working now with CPWR. As Scott mentioned, that's one of the NIOSH research partners. We're working with NIOSH itself, and we're trying to get some inroads to some of that detailed data that BLS just does not typically release, just for privacy reasons, and try to get to the bottom of it. So we do have a lot of work underway with fatalities and injuries and try to get that data and trying to get you the right information. And so what we may have to simply do in the future is give a range. Say, we know that it's at least this many. That's that group that we know of that are being killed, but it could be as high as this many, because if we start searching for other categories where we know highway workers are contained, that's where they will be found, but they may be lumped in with others. So it's a challenging aspect for us, but we're not daunted by it, and we're working very hard to get it, and working to see if we can get Department of Transportation and NHTSA to work with BLS, and maybe together we can do with getting those agencies to work together. That's a goal. Don't know if we'll get there, but we might be able to get some better data and some better reporting. Because again, this doesn't just deal, when we have these work zone incidents and fatalities, yes, those are terrible things because it impacts people and it impacts their lives and impacts the lives of their families. But beyond that, such incidents, and the reason we need to prevent them, is because of congestion and the cost of delay to motorists and projects. And if projects are held up because of fatality, there's just so many other implications that come from not having good safety programs at our work zones, data and costs that we just don't calculate, that are very real costs to the motorists and to the industry, that we need to get a better grasp on. So that's why data is so important. And so last slide here. So just wrapping up, the clearinghouse is doing a lot. And some of it may be very out in front, as you're seeing here in this conference, but a lot of it goes on behind the scenes. And we're just working hard to make sure that you have the best information and resources that you have to complete your jobs. And so that we can make sure we have all the resources that are available to do that. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the conference. It's our pleasure to be here with you, and we hope to continue talking. We'll take questions at the end. So over on the far right, you'll see a Q&A, and we'll be watching for questions for the panel. And we'll leave time at the end after Jerry and Beth have spoken to take your questions so you can ask on any topic. So thank you very much. Back to you, Martha. Martha, you're muted.
I apologize about that. Technology. Thank you again, Brad. Our next speaker is Jerry Ullman. Dr. Ullman is a senior research engineer, Regents Fellow, and manager of the Works on Research program at the Texas A&M Transportation Institute. He has over 36 years of experience conducting research and providing technical assistance on a wide range of works on safety topics. He has led the TTI's effort to support the development and operation of the National Works on Safety Information Clearinghouse since its inception in 1998. Please welcome Jerry.
Thank you, Martha. Appreciate the opportunity to spend a few minutes this afternoon talking, maybe bragging a little bit about the clearinghouse. It's tough to follow Brad. His comments, right? We're right in line with those. We've been very fortunate to have such a great working relationship with ARTBA and Federal Highways, and being allowed to support this important effort. I think Brad made a dig about my age earlier, and he's right. I think I was involved with the initial cooperative agreement that was put together back in it must have been early 1997, and been here ever since. So I guess it's the old dog here or whatever. What I want to do today, just kind of share with you a few things about the website. That's been what TTI main support role to ARTBA and Federal Highways is in the operation and maintenance of the website itself. We've also provided input, participation in the conferences and different things that Brad had mentioned. Just a few numbers. I think that these are always interesting to see. That since 1997 we've kept track of access to the website and that kind of thing, and you all have used us since then 2.5 million times, and it keeps growing. We on average see about 180,000 of you all coming to the website each year to find various types of things. Our librarian, most of you know Hong, and folks that support her, continually looking for information, cataloging it, and organizing it. We've got a tremendous amount of information, and it's leading us to what I'll talk about at the end, which is another website redesign, but something more than 10,000 pages and database records and stuff that have been collected through the years. And so, far as we can tell, the most recent effort we had to see who's using us, pretty sure we've been able to trace users from all 50 of the states, from DC, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, and then more than other 224 countries across the world. So I guess some ways maybe with their international Works on Safety Information Clearinghouse, not sure. Typically, and this has been fairly consistent over the duration of the operation of the clearinghouse, we these are the sort of the top four, I would call them. You know, OSHA has its big four, fatal four. We have our top four that of items that are consistently looked for amongst the users. Flagler training, the work zone crash data that Brad had mentioned is always a popular point of data. Laws, and then I think Brad or maybe David this morning talked about the Work Zone Safety Grant Program and the products that are housed on the clearinghouse. Lots of folks come to there looking for those various documents and other resources. Well, I have a few minutes to talk about is some of the hot topics that we've put together. On the main page, you see the circle that's a hot topics button. You click on that, and you could find a number of pages where we've tried to compile information. 3 that I just want to touch upon today that have been fairly recent additions that you might find useful. The first one is the large truck improvements. Matt, if you can move to the next slide. This has been updated. I think Martha said this morning, or maybe it was David, that reducing commercial motor vehicle fatal crashes in work zones has been a priority for the US DOT. Several of the agencies there, they've compiled and done a good job of putting together a number of additional resources, and you can find those under that improving large truck safety and work zone. We've got a segment that's tended to be more agency contractor focused with some design improvements as various technical advice documents, fact sheets, and that kind of thing that have been developed through a lot of them through the safety grant program. Next slide. A number of resources that have been put together for fleet operators and the fleet drivers themselves, that things that come from FMCSA, fact sheets, postcards that you can download and print, social media graphics that can be added and used as necessarily for things like National Work Zone Awareness Week, both for the truck or the commercial motor vehicle driver, as well as the other motorists about how to interact with CMVs. You'll find those under that resource. There's also some, next slide, some other things that have been done. ARTBA has put together some things to their safety grant program. We've also are seeing states and other agencies doing their own kinds of things. Here's an example of some information that's been put together by the Texas Department of Insurance, and part of what they have in there is about commercial motor vehicle drivers and how to safely travel through work zones. So we've got those kinds of things, and then there's also a segment. Next slide. That talks about more state-of-the-art, research kinds of things that are going on through that we've been able to identify and compile. That you can kind of find sort of what are new and innovation things are being tried, maybe not yet reached practice, but are certainly being looked at. So that's all on that large truck safety and work zones page. Next slide. We've also put some effort into expanding information available regarding the development of transportation management plans. If you all are aware, when federal movement making occurred almost 15 years ago now to require transportation management plans, FHWA put out a tremendous amount of guidance at that time. We've made sure that that's available and easily accessible off that page. In addition to, next slide, a number of things that states have done to assimilate the overall guidance from federal highways to incorporate it into their own business processes and practices. Here, some checklists and manuals and guidelines, and all those you can find on this page and compare what you're doing to what others are doing, and maybe get some good ideas, that kind of a thing. Last page that I want to mention, the hot topic page, is one that deals with accommodating pedestrians in work zones. That's continued to be an area of emphasis, again, at the national level as well as in many states. We've got laws that pertain to the accommodation listed on that particular hot topic page. In addition, we've got next slide, various things that have been put together through associations such as ARTBA and ATSA that are again safety grant, product development that provide design guidance, field guides, those kinds of things are all captured on that particular page. In addition to things that state agencies themselves has put together, such as this page that Minnesota DOT has compiled and has a number of resources that guide its efforts to accommodate pedestrians through work zones properly. This at the end, then the next slide. This also has a section about, again, research and training, sort of the state of the art kinds of things that are being tested and studied. So if you're interested in things that may be coming down the road but aren't yet in full practice, you can find that information there. So so that's all on that page. Next slide. Just to wrap things up and get on to Beth, because she's got some very interesting things to show you. We are going through a redesign of the website right now. The last one was done in, I think, 2014. So obviously lots advancements in website sort of functionality and look and that kind of thing. So we're going back there. One of the things that we are making a major priority is the improving the access to and finding of the important information that y'all are looking for. One of the challenges, the more you find and you get into your databases, the bigger challenge is, well, how do I get what I want out of it? There's so much there, and looking for something and getting 600 and 700 various items doesn't really help you if they're not the ones you really want. So we're going through efforts looking at the latest and greatest ways that search engines are operating and way we can enhance the search capabilities within the website and make that a more effective experience. Certainly the look of the clearinghouse, it's time to refresh that and use state-of-the-art techniques in that regard. We're going to upgrade the site is ADA compliant, but we want to elevate it to the latest and greatest guidance in that area. And then I think, as Brad said, the data has become a very important thing that needs to be updated and improved upon. The initial dashboard, or initially we just had a place where that we counted just overall fatalities and fatal crashes, and then made the effort to say let's make that a little bit more accessible, but predominantly high level stuff. And what we've realized is we need to parse that better and make that more available, tell the story that you all are looking for about what is the magnitude of the work zone safety issue, where is it, who is it affecting, those kinds of things. And so we'll be working again closely with ARTBA to enhance that aspect of the website. So that'll all happen as part of the redesign itself. All right, I'm finished. I'll turn it back over to you, Martha.
Thank you, Jerry. From RTBA, Beth McNeil Stinson is the Vice President of Education Operations for RTBA. She designs, builds, administers, evaluates, and improves a curriculum of online, virtual, and face-to-face courses to support the transportation construction industry. She administers RTBA's learning management system, the SCTPP certification program, and a state-approved professional development hours for licensed engineers program. Ms. Stinson's career in educational technology spans 30 years. beginning before the internet with overhead projectors to the present day with mobile learning and just-in-time online courses. She has a master's degree in graphic arts and photography from the State University of New York at Albany. She's a credentialed California Community College instructor, a certified Scrum product owner, a certified Maryland flagger, and a distinguished Toastmaster. Please welcome.
Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. I think mostly everyone is in the afternoon at this point. It is my pleasure to be here at the WorkZone Safety Management Conference. And I'm very excited to give you a brief tour of our new learning management system. I'm going to share my screen with you so that we're going to go live into the actual learning management system. So it might take a little second or a minute to get that part going. So if you would bear with me for 1 second, I will do that. And I hope that everyone can see my screen now because I can't see any of you. So unless I hear otherwise, I'm going to go straight in. This is the landing page of our new learning management system. And to get started, you need to sign up and make an account before you can enroll in any of the courses. So you would click this sign up button here, and you would create a username. You would enter a password. You would fill in your email address and so on. I am not going to go through and do all of that in the demonstration. I'm just going to log in because I already have an account. And this part always takes the longest to do, doesn't it? So I have logged in because I've already established an account. When you do make an account for the first time, the system is going to send you an email confirmation to make sure that you really are who you are and we don't have spiders and bots creating accounts. So when you get that email message, you need to click on the link to confirm that you indeed signed up for the learning management system. If the message doesn't come right away, then I would say check your spam, but the system is pretty good about getting through spam filters and being whitelisted. So you should get that confirmation right away. Click on the link, you are who you are, and then you can log into the system and you will land on a page called My Courses. Today, I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to take you first to what they call the marketplace. And this is a catalog of all of the online courses that are available in this system. The courses are split into 3 different categories. We have ARPA Professional Development, we have the ARPA WorkZone Consortium, which are all the courses that are built with this in the safety grant program. And then there are some other courses by the National Asphalt Pavement Association. I'm going to take you through to the category of the WorkZone Consortium. And this is where all of the safety courses live that have been sponsored and built through the safety grant program. As you can see, so the first course is here. I'm already enrolled in because it says in my courses. And I can scroll down and find a course that I want to enroll in. And I would click on the icon here to learn more. And this gives me some information about the course itself. So it's an hour long. Here's the course description. And then this course includes a certificate of completion and it has 2 chapters and 2 modules. So this just shows me how long and how the content is divided. I can scroll down a little bit more and I can see the titles of the different modules. So I'm going to pop back up to the top. And if I want to enroll in this, then I just click free access. And this goes now into my courses. So I can hop over here and the 3 turn to a 4, and here I am. So in my courses, I have started some of these courses. This one's in progress, but haven't finished a lot of it. This one's in progress. And the access egress is in progress, 50% viewed. So I'm going to click in here really quickly and show you I'm halfway through this course. The description is there again. And then these are the 2 modules that are in this particular course. There's course resources that I have completed. And that is a set of documents and other types of resources that you can download and use that are either exercises or takeaways that support the main content of the course. And module 1 is the actual content itself of the course. And to start that, I would click this arrow and then it would open a new window and begin to play. So that is my courses. I'm going to pop right down here, and these are the courses that I've completed in the system. And it looks like I've completed 2, and you see the green complete. The percentage is the score or the percentage that I got on the quiz or the assessment in each of the courses. So I think I have a little bit more knowledge about reducing risks to motorcycles in Texas work zones than I do of COVID. But let's just pop into here really quickly on my completed course. And I can get my certificate of completion right here. I can click on that and it'll come up and it'll tell me the date that I completed it. And then I have 30 minutes of professional development hours from this particular course. If the course is still open, and some courses just remain open and some courses have a definite beginning and end date, I can launch the course again and I can review the material. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further and there's a review section here. And this is a course evaluation or any input or feedback that you would like to share with us. You can write a review in here to say, 5-star course, I learned so much, I love the video. Or you can say, well, it was okay, but I think you're missing this particular piece. Or, hey, I found a really great checklist that I think would be great to add to the course. And you can click here and add that file. And we receive all of these reviews. And the more feedback that you give us, the better we can make these courses. So please feel free to put your feedback in the reviews. And that's when you complete your course. I'm going to skip events because we don't have any events scheduled as yet. The events is a calendar where we can schedule webinars and live virtual training, but we don't have anything available right now. So we're just going to skip that a little bit. And then I'm going to go to the achievements bar and click that. And this is a list of all of my certificates. So the more courses I take and the more I finish, I will have a larger list here. So this is just a compilation of my entire record. I will say that when you successfully complete a course, the system will automatically email you a link to download your certificate of completion. If you lose that email or you lose the link or you want to come back, you can either go to your completed courses and click the certificate, or you can come here to your achievements and you can click that and download it. And finally, we have a little message system inside of the learning management system. And this is like an internal chat tool. If you want to reach someone at ARTBA that is managing this. The safety team is all listed here, and you can send us a message. So you would pick someone, you would type your message in the chat, and then you would send it off. And I would receive that chat, and I can get back to you and help with whatever assistance you need. So again, this is a brand new learning management system. We are hosting courses that are separated into 3 categories, but all of the terrific material that we have worked so hard with FHWA and Martha's team and sponsored by the Safety Grant Program is all listed under the Work Zone Consortium category in the catalog. And that's where you'll find all these amazing resources. You can link to this from the clearinghouse, and we will make these courses more widely available once we have final approval from FHWA. They are all in beta version, which means that we are collecting feedback and we were putting on the finishing touches to make these as good as we can possibly make them. And then we'll release them out into the world. But right now, again, you can find the link on the clearinghouse, and that will link you to this learning management system. And then you can go through the process of creating yourself an account and then enrolling yourself in any of these courses. I'm happy to take questions in the Q&A. I think we may have a little bit of time. I'm not sure, but I am going to flip back and stop sharing my screen. And with that, I will turn it back over to our moderator.
Again. Martha, you're muted.
Oh my goodness, sorry. Again, Brad, Beth, and Jerry, I don't see an email, I'm sorry, any comments yet, but what I was encouraging everyone is that if you haven't visited the Clearinghouse website or it has been a while, please go back and we will post the link, but we're constantly updating resources and almost every single topic that you can think under work zone safety and mobility. Brad talked about some of the crash data information that we have. Jerry talked about some of our hot topics, and then Beth, the LMS system, which is a system that we are really looking forward with all these new modules and different topics. So let's see. If you're unable to see the slide or screen share, please refresh your browser, which is my problem as well. But we will be sharing the PowerPoint slides at the end of the conference as PDF.
Hey, Martha.
Back to you, Brad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just wondering if you or Beth could topics of some of the courses that are there and will be coming up for folks.
I was going to share, we have motorcycle safety, night work, portable change of message signs. There will be a large truck module. I can't remember. Did I mention night work? Speed management. Beth, I'm sure I'm missing some of the topics.
Temporary traffic control devices. Working outside. Gosh, I think you hit most of them, Martha. Let's see.
I found the page. I'm going
Speed
to add
management.
the link. Yeah, I'm going to add the link here. The chat box or general chat so everybody can find it and access them. But yeah, fall training program, improving large truck safety in work zones. PCMS, reducing risk to motorcycles, which is from TxDOT, speed management, works on access egress, working outdoors. So as you can see, it's a great mix for not only field workers, but also designers as well.
And just a reminder that because these courses are sponsored by the Federal Highway Work Zone Training Grants Program and posted to the clearinghouse, they are all free, and you can get professional development hours. So it's really a great thing for folks to take advantage of.
It is. And we welcome all of your feedback. So if you enroll in these courses, please let us know what you think.
Hey, I note, Brad, I note there's another question in the Q&A there. If you look to the Q&A on the right, when do you expect the rollout to occur with the Clearinghouse website redesign?
I'll let Beth, she's kind of managing that on ARPA's side, and I know the answer, but Beth and Jerry are working on that a lot, so go ahead.
Well, we expect that the public rollout to be right around January 1st, 2022. It is a huge project, and I'm very excited to be enrolled in it. We may be looking for beta testers in the fall. So if anybody is interested in helping us test some of the new features as we set up how the search is going to work, let me know and we will contact you in the fall.
All right, I don't see any other questions for our panelists. So, Brad, would you like us to play a video, or do you want us to go to an extended break?
Okay, so we ended a little bit early today, and our next session begins at 3:30. And so if you would, what we'd like to do actually is we have some new training videos that have been developed, and I'm not sure everyone has seen them. So Matt, if you could put up, we can watch a video for just a few minutes, and then we'll go to break until 3:30.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, we are heading off to our break. So we will see you at 3:30 for the Work Zone Safety Countermeasures program. See you then.